What is up, Frog fam and friends? Welcome back to another edition of Marketflow, powered by Thor, presented by Mode. Bringing this one to you a little bit early. I have some personal things to take care of, but I couldn't leave my Frog fam just waiting. I had to at least get out a video and a recap for you guys. So let's get right to it because we got things in the market moving. Bitcoin. Of course, we got to start with Bitcoin, right? We broke up and actually even got just a little bit above 65K. Looking bullish. We broke up above. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. This is our 4-hour chart. You can see we had this Thor long entry down here at 59,200. We did hit the take profit point of that just below 64,000. Bitcoin not only retested the long-term EMA, but broke out from the downtrend, is printing candles above the short term, and right now looking to retest the long-term EMA once again. The fact that we have broken the short term and quickly, it only takes a couple big candles to erase a whole lot of red, right? Couple green candles will erase weeks of red and weeks of pain. So anyway, we got the big green candle to bring us back up above the EMA, bring us back up above the long-term EMA. We're holding and being squashed between them right now, but we have broke the downtrend resistance. Another thing to note, we have broken up above neutral on the RSI and look to be finding support. This looks to be bullish for Bitcoin. If you took this long call, nice, you got it. You got to take profit. Remember, we kept saying that we had these DCA points at 62, at 56, and at 52. And there was this zone here. Would not surprise me if market makers decide to fill this zone and take off if everyone thinks that we're continuing lower. The major sentiment, whichever way it's going, market makers want to move the opposite. So we did fill that long call, and what we're sitting with now is, remember, we left off with our bearish scenario last week. Our bearish scenario would be we fill profit on this call, find resistance, and we actually break back down toward the lower low. If we cannot find support here and push up to find the higher high, that could potentially be bearish. But we have our bullish signal here, right? If we hold support on the RSI, hold support on the EMAs, hold support on the downtrend, and ultimately this 62K zone, we could be looking for the push up toward the next short at 70K entry for a short, retesting down at 64K once again, and then potentially breaking to the higher highs, coming down to retest the EMAs once again somewhere around 67,400. That is our bullish scenario. Looking at the RSI, we've got break it downtrend. Looking at price action, we've got break it downtrend. Now we just need to find support. Remember, guys, just because we've broken downtrend does not mean we're going into uptrend. We could go into a slower downtrend. We could go into a sideways trend with just little to no momentum, just a sideways range, or we could break up and really take off and begin the second leg of the bull, or potentially, the third final leg. But this is when I see altcoins really coming in. We've seen Bitcoin dominance dropping. If it continues to drop while the market's moving, I see a major altcoin season coming. Talking about altcoins, let's jump into our favorite, Solana. So if you held on to this long, you would have printed. If you had the patience of Thor, you would have printed on this long here. We just missed entry on this 117 call, but we did find our support there. We just missed entrance on our Thor long call, though. But same thing with Bitcoin as it was in Sol. We had some lower targets and zones. We got another one here that's still printing at 108, and we still have another one down here at 65. So we still have these longs at lower zones established by Thor. We talked about last week, what pattern are we going to see? Are we going to see the lower high, and are we going to continue down toward the lower low here, this being our bearish sentiment? Or were we going to find support, break out of the EMA, and look to fill this zone again? If we, in my opinion, if we fill this zone, now that we've broken out, we've broken up above on the RSI, we're up above the short-term EMA, up above the long-term. If we can really get back up, fill this zone, and hold bullish above this, 154, 152, uh, that is looking really bullish for Solana right now. Now, we do have several short calls as well. Remember, a bunch of short calls, well, that sounds bearish, right? No. Remember, you got to pump up to hit a short call. And when Thor is calling for a short, it's also calling for a take profit. So you see it's calling for a short here at 170, but a take profit here 150. So that doesn't mean that 170 is going to be our top. Thor is saying if we retest 170, if we pump to 170, look to retest this 151 before we either find support and continue up, or we find resistance and continue down. So several short calls stacked in a row is actually bullish sentiment for me when looking at Thor right now. We have made the higher low. We are looking to push the higher high. We have broken the EMAs. We have broken RSI and downtrend. Things are looking bullish. Remember, when altcoin season comes in, it's going to rip. Now, we've been looking at a 4-hour chart here, but I want to show you something that under what I call exit targets here. We're going to go to Bitcoin, and you see, here's that downtrend that we've been in and that we're just trying to break up above, right? If we throw this on the weekly, you can see that little blip in the grand scheme is nearly nothing, right? Really does not mean much. But what does mean a lot is where we are in the market. What has happened every time we've started to retest all-time highs and the EMA on the, or I'm sorry, the RSI on the weekly starts to pump up, really get near that FOMO range. We had a massive explosion for the last leg of the bull. What happened? Each time we test RSIs, retest all-time highs, and the RSI is peaking out once again on the weekly. Boom, bull cycle to the new all-time highs. Here we are retesting the last cycle's all-time high, getting high on the RSI on the weekly, but still showing bullish. History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. This is the rhyme I'm looking for. If we throw some measurements up here from the middle of this zone, we did a 15, almost 20x. Middle of this zone, we did a 2, almost 2.5x. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here is a pump to near 2.5, somewhere around there. And that would put us near a 230K Bitcoin. So, am I saying that's the target? I don't know. FOMO could carry us further. Things could drop shorter. But this is why we have TA. This is why we have Thor. And this is why we have the charts to go back. Remember, short term, yeah, we've been going down. But look at where we're at in the long cycle. Don't get folded out, guys. Things have been looking good. Once again, going back to Bitcoin right here on our Marketflow chart. Remember, we don't have any longs called right now. Thor doesn't have any long zones called. Now, with our own TA, we do have some zones identified at 52, and if we really drop, ultimately that 46. But the fact that Thor is calling and identifying short zones sounds bullish, like Bitcoin could take a pump to me. Okay, looking at Kira. Actually, I want to show you something else. Real quick, guys. Just since we've started Marketflow, this doesn't even continue Trader Tuesday. I just looked back. I've been printing these charts and doing these sessions since July of last year. So there's been a lot of alpha, a whole lot of calls. Just look at since we started these charts for Marketflow together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 calls on Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. And this isn't even everyone that's available. These are the ones that are available for me to chart that you could get entry on if you're joining our sessions. If we look at Solana, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 calls that we've made together in a short time frame. Guys, consistency and building up with proper risk management is how you do it. You don't need to make everything all in one call and moon boy when Lambo shit, right? Slow and steady will build your bags, I promise you. And that's what we've been doing here. So, but you see the calls that we have taken together just between Bitcoin and just between Solana, right? Look at what THOR offers. Look at all these different assets here and look at all the calls in different time frames you could be looking at. Look at how many calls you also see active, but look how many calls there are ready for you to take advantage of. All these calls that say waiting, you could be preparing to take advantage of and print with THOR. Frogs fuck Thor prints. That's all there is to it. Look how many calls you guys can have access to through Frogs. And we've shown you just what we've done on Bitcoin and Sol with 4-hour and daily calls. The power of Thor is exponential compared to what I've shown you guys here. Looking into Kira. Kira, oh, I don't know where we got a little wonky there. Kira is the lifeblood token for Cyber Frogs. There's a lot of speculation about what is to come with Kira, and that is on purpose. All I can say is if you're into trading, if you're into investing, do the math between the fully diluted market cap and the total supply. Look at the Frogs community. Look how active they are. Look at what the team is doing. Not financial advice. Do your own research. There's going to be a lot of, man, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, but didn't when it comes to Kira. Don't be one of them. Not financial advice. Do your own research. But a token that is the lifeblood of the ecosystem for not only the NFT project, but is going to tie everything together with Thor and the AI hedge fund management system. Maybe I should just stop there. I'll just say I'm bullish on Kira. Last week, we left off stream together on Cyberfrogs, watching some content together of Tooker. I was explaining content is king. The only reason any memes have any value is because people consume content. If the meme has shitty content, it's not going to last. If it has good content, it has potential. Content is king. We watched streams live, watching Tooker together live in the DGen Den right here at around 4 cents together. We were talking about this zone, how anywhere in this zone was our area to top up, how we were being squeezed. We called our target, and from our 4 cent call here, we hit our first target at 160%. So this is not one that was on Thor, but this is one you could have taken advantage of with Cyber Frogs. So, Frogs fuck, Thor prints, keep an eye on Kira, do the math. Remember Bitcoin, we've got shorts incoming. Solana, we've got both shorts and we've got some big longs. But if BTC dominance keeps dropping, I see alt season incoming. And when that happens, Solana is going to straight melt faces. This is going to be a true Solana summer whenever the alt season starts. When the altcoin season rips, I expect Solana to lead the way exactly the same way as it did the first leg of this bull. So, Frogs Fuck, Thor Prince, I appreciate you all. Sorry I couldn't be here live today. I've got a lot of IRL things going on that I have to take care of. I probably will not be able to make a live session Thursday either, but I appreciate all of you that join us here, and that's why I made sure I hopped on to at least give you guys this recap, this update. I hope you guys are still in the DGen Den tonight trading, even if I cannot be there. Marketflow, appreciate everybody. Frogs fuck Thor Prince.